Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the Hophelek of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Gotta give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, the Most High, the Heavenly Father. His Hebrew name is Yahweh, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shai. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shai. So gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders over all of Israel, whether accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the Ark pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwath who are listening and learning, the few sisters who are listening and learning. I'm Isaiah from GMS Orlando Camp coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and edification, another daily edification, Lord's willing. This be edifying. And I'm titling this lesson, the third battle is approaching. The third battle is heating up. Lord willing, this be edifying.
President of the United States goes to Vietnam to call on Pacific Rim countries to face down China. China is doing some facing down of its own. China joining Russia and Iran. They're going to conduct their own military exercises in the Persian Gulf, no less, just as the U.S. has been conducting military exercises off the coast of China and Russia. Both seem to be sending Washington a signal that they, too, can play war games. Correspondent John Huddy has the story.
Now, this is prophecy. And it's not something out of the ordinary, or as they say, coincidence that Russia and Iran is doing military drills together. When you go back into Daniel, the 7th chapter, and Daniel, the 2nd chapter, the nation that took down the ancient Babylonian Empire was the Medo-Persian Empire. Today, the Medo-Persian Empire, which was then, is Iran and Russia. This is not nothing out of the ordinary. This is prophecy playing out for World War III. So first off, I'm going to read this. Lord willing, this don't be too long. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 1 and verse 9. It reads, the thing that have been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It have already been of old time, which was before us. Ecclesiastes 3 and 15. It reads, that which have been is now, and that which is to be have already been, and Yahweh Shema Shai required that which is past. Which is what? World War III. This is Revelation, chapter 9 and verse 12. And it reads, one woe is past, which was World War I. One woe is past, and behold, there come two woes more hereafter. Revelation 11 and verse 14. The second woe is past. So we had World War I and World War II. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly, which is World War III. This is Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5. It reads, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this, what this? World War III shall be with burning and fuel of fire. From what? Intercontinental ballistic missiles. This is Isaiah 54 and 16, and it reads, behold, I have created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and bringeth forth an instrument for his work. And I, who, Yahweh Shema Shai, have created the waster to destroy. What is a waster? This is Revelation chapter 9 and verse 16. A waster is talking about an intercontinental ballistic missile. It's Revelation 9 and 16. And the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000, which is 200 million. And I heard the number of them. And thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions. What it's talking about? The warheads that's on the tip of the missile. And out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. By these three were the third part of men killed, by the fire and by the smoke and by the brimstone, which issued out of their mouths. Talking about the warheads on the missiles. For their power is in their mouth and in their tails. Why is the power in their tails? Because the missiles get propelled. They don't have to get dropped from a B-12, from a B-52 or some plane. They get propelled. For their power in their mouth, for their power is in their mouth and in their tails. For their tails were like unto serpents, meaning when the missiles take off and the smoke trail that it leaves, like a serpent as it's flying off in the air. For their tails were like unto serpents and had heads, which are the warheads, and with them they do hurt. Okay? Now, that's John, the Revelator on the Isle of Patmos, giving you that vision. Now, here's the same vision that Joel have. This is Joel 2, in verse 4. It reads, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as the horsemen, so shall they run. This is what John said. Let's read it again. Revelation chapter 9, in verse 17. It reads, and thus I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them, having breastplates of fire, and of jacinth and brimstone, and the heads of the horses were as the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire and smoke and brimstone. Now he said, and I saw the horses in the vision, and them that sat on them. See? So John giving a vision as if these were horses and men sitting on them. This is the same vision that Joel saw. This is Joel 2 and 4. The appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. You see? Like as noise of a chariot on the top of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of a fire that devours the stubble, as a strong people set in battle array. And that's why I read Isaiah 9 and 5. It say, as a strong people set in battle array. It say, as a strong people set in battle array. Because it's not people fighting. It's talking about missiles getting shot off. Before their face, the people shall be much pain. All faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his ways. When you see the missiles get shot off out of the silos, they're gonna shoot off, and they're not gonna break their ranks. As it say, and they shall march everyone on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk everyone in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. They shall run to and fro in the city. They shall run upon the wall. They shall climb up upon the houses. They shall enter in at the windows like a thief. And that's going to be that vacuum seal, man. Once the missiles hit ground zero, and that smoke and that fire, man, it's going to be a vacuum seal, man. The earth shall quake before them. It said the earth shall quake before them. The heavens shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. The Lord Yahweh shall utter his voice before his army, which is what? Those missiles. For his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. For the day of the Lord Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide it? Now this is Isaiah chapter 13 in verse 5. And it reads, they come from a far country, from the end of heavens, even the Lord Yahweh Shemawashah, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. Now read Isaiah 54:16, when the Lord said he created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, and created an instrument for his works, and I have created the waster to destroy. They come from a far country, Isaiah 13 and 5, from the end of heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land. This is Jeremiah chapter 50 in verse 25. And it reads, the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, have opened his armory and have brought forth the weapons of his indignation, for this is the work of the Lord Yahweh, power of hosts, in the land of the Chaldeans. So, what's he talking about? Intercontinental ballistic missiles. Let's play this again.
Vietnam to call on Pacific Rim countries to face down China. China is doing some facing down of its own. China joining Russia and Iran. They're going to conduct their own military exercises in the Persian Gulf, no less, just as the U.S. has been conducting military exercises off the coast of China.
Now, did you hear that? It say in the Persian Gulf. This is Joel, chapter 2 and verse 20. And it reads, but I will remove far off from you the northern army, and will drive them into a land, and will drive him into a land barren and desolate, with his face towards the east sea, which is the Persian Gulf, and his hinder part towards the utmost sea, which is the Red Sea, and his stink shall come up, and his ill savor shall come up, because he have done great things. This is talking about removing Babylon, the great army, between the Persian Gulf and the Red Sea. This is not some that you can't believe, man. This is prophecy, man. This is really happening. This is more strategic moves that Yahweh Shema Shai is making on the chessboard, man. So let's finish this.
And Russia both seem to be sending Washington a signal that they too can play war games. Correspondent John Huddy has the story.
Let the war games begin. From the Black Sea to the Mediterranean Sea, the Persian Gulf to the South China Sea, friends and foes alike are flexing their naval muscles in a show of military and strategic force spanning the globe. China launched a series of naval exercises Tuesday, including live-fire drills in the South China and Yellow Seas, ahead of the so-called Quad Alliance's upcoming naval drills later this week. The United States, India, Australia, and Japan will conduct surface, subsurface, and air operations, including live-fire weapons drills off the coast of Guam starting Thursday. It's clearly a move to put some pressure on China and show the U.S.'s commitment to its allies.
Now, why every time they showing these clips, why they always showing missiles getting fired off? Because these are the weapons of Yahweh Shema Shai's armory, man. These are the lowest missiles, man. These are the weapons of Yahweh Shema Shai's armory, man. World War III will be fought with intercontinental ballistic missiles, man.
Not to be outdone, China is also planning another military exercise, possibly later this year or in early 2022, with Iran and Russia in the Persian Gulf. That, according to the Russian ambassador to Iran, will, quote, ensure the safety of international shipping and the fight against sea pirates. But clearly, it's not only about sea pirates. The China, Russia, and Iran naval drills will come close to U.S. military bases in the Persian Gulf region and will likely garner a response from the U.S. and its allies. This, as Vice President Harris is in Vietnam, part of her week-long Asia tour to court America's allies in an effort to counter China. During her visit to Singapore, the Vice President took aim at China, saying the country posed a threat to other Asian nations and America's allies in the region, while accusing Beijing of coercion and intimidation in the South China Sea, where China continues to, according to Vice President Harris, push its unlawful territorial claims. But the Vice President's Asia trip has largely been overshadowed by the ongoing situation in Afghanistan, and her trip to Vietnam got off to a curious and somewhat alarming start when it was delayed several hours due to a health situation in Hanoi. The U.S. Embassy there released a statement reading, quote, earlier this evening, the Vice President's traveling delegation was delayed from departing Singapore because the Vice President's office was made aware of a report of a recent possible anomalous health incident in Hanoi, Vietnam. After careful assessment, the decision was made to continue with the Vice President's trip. The term anomalous health incident is basically the U.S. government's code word for the Havana syndrome, a neurological condition defined by dizziness, nausea, migraines, and memory loss, among other symptoms. It got the name after American officials based in Havana, Cuba, first reported experiencing the symptoms back in 2016. And since then, there have been dozens of other cases, more than 200 and counting, of U.S. State Department, CIA, and embassy personnel and other U.S. diplomats and officials reporting it in China, Russia, Vienna, Austria, and most recently, Berlin, Germany. At least 2 embassy staffers reportedly were sickened by these same symptoms and will at some point reportedly be medevaced out of Hanoi for treatment. Vice President Harris's spokesperson said the delay had nothing to do with the VP's health, but so far, the vice president has said nothing about the possible Havana syndrome health scare in Hanoi. For the news with Rick Sanchez, John Huddy.
Hey, the point being of this lesson is what? Intercontinental ballistic missiles. World War III.
Countries to face down China. China is doing some facing down of its own. China joining Russia and Iran. They're going to conduct their own military exercises in the Persian Gulf, no less. Just as the U.S. has been conducting military exercises off the coast of China and Russia. Both seem to be sending Washington a signal that they too can play war games.
Hey, and that's what's going to go down, man. This is Luke 12:49. I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I, if it be already kindled? And it's going to be kindled with World War III. And Yahushua is going to crack the clouds and intervene in the midst of World War III, man. This is, again, Luke 12:49. I am come to send fire on the earth. And what will I, if it be already kindled? And there's a lot of fires on the earth kindled out right now, man. All over the world, man. This is Malachi chapter 4 and verse 1. And it reads, For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. Now, this is my closing precept, 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10, and it reads, But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. What great noise? From the missiles. And the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. It say, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. The earth is not going to burn away, but everything that's on planet earth that the Lord have deemed to be destroyed will be destroyed. So the elements shall melt with fervent heat. Everything is made with elements. Cars, buildings, people. Everything is made from elements. Verse 11 reads, Seeing then that all these things shall be destroyed. Shalakia. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. Like dissolved. You ever see candle wax? Ashes. When you're burning wood, do you see what the ashes? They are nothing, man. It says, Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved. What manner of person are ye to be in our holy conversation and godliness? Seeing that the earth will be destroyed by fire, what should you be doing? What should you be occupied in? It should be occupied in prophecies. Verse 12 reads, Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh Shema Shah, wherein the heavens being on fire, the heaven meaning this earth, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. From what? Intercontinental ballistic missiles. World War III will be fought with intercontinental ballistic missiles. If you don't believe it, just keep living and you're going to see. Lord, witness edifying. Got to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all of Israel, whether accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all the ark pushing this truth and believing this truth. But the four ends of the earth, the entire world, waking up the hopeful elect. And shalom to the Akwath who are listening learning. Hey, the wife for tuning in. May Yahweh Shema Shah continue to bless you in your houses. Stay prayed up. Until next time, I say shalom. Wa Abu Ball.